Hey guys, Christian here, and welcome back to another episode of Super Fast Income. Today with me is Rachel Hernandez, a seasoned real estate investor with over a decade of experience. She initially began by investing in single family homes and later transitioned into the dynamic world of mobile home investing. Rachel's journey evolved from finding deals for other investors to conducting deals herself, showcasing her hands-on experience in the field. She is also a blogger and an author. Rachel's book have achieved the number one rankings on Amazon, and her blog has been recognized among the top 20 real estate investing blogs. Her expertise and insights have been featured in publications such as Forbes, Motley Fool, Experian, Good Banking Rates, and various real estate publications and blogs. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Rachel. How are you today?
Good. Doing well, Christian. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited.
Awesome, me too. So, can you tell us a little bit about your background? Have you always been investing in real estate and mobile homes, or there was a point where you were, for example, having a job or doing something more traditional?
Yes, before I got started in real estate investing, mobile home investing, I was actually a business to business corporate account executive for Fortune 500 corporations. So I basically had the sales background before I got into real estate investing, before I got into mobile home investing. And I started by like a lot of real estate investors read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki. I know he's been on the show, and I got inspired. So, I got started very early in my real estate investing career in my early 20s. I started out in single family homes, like you said, finding deals for other investors. And then I became a buy and hold landlord in single family homes. And then I decided to sell my entire real estate portfolio, cash out, and now I'm in mobile home investing. That's my story, pretty much.
That's awesome. So, what made you do the transition?
Sure. Yes. So basically, when I was in single family homes as a landlord, I was very burnt out, like a lot of landlords do. And the thing what I noticed being a landlord is everyone got paid before me. So the mortgage company got paid, the homeowners association got paid, the insurance company got paid, contractors got paid. And then there was even a point, Christian, when I actually brought in property managers because I just did not want to manage my properties. Well, they got paid as well too. And when the home was vacant, they also got paid too. So basically, I looked into alternative, investing strategies, and I stumbled upon Lonnie Scruggs, who basically is kind of considered the godfather of mobile home investing. And I read I purchased his course, which is now a book. It's called Deals on Wheels, where he talks about buying and selling mobile homes using owner financing, and everything clicked. Why even get a mortgage on a home when I can buy a mobile home all cash and all of that cash flow comes to me? So basically, I started investing in mobile homes in 2007. As of this recording, it's 2024. I've achieved five figures a month with my mobile home investing business, but now I've kind of transitioned. I do have my properties as well too, but I'm doing something called wholesaling, where I actually help sellers find buyers for their mobile homes, and then I make the difference on the spread. So it's kind of like I'm going back to where how I started as a finding deals for other investors, bird dog to wholesaler, and now I'm a wholesaler in mobile homes. So
Wow, that's a journey. Can you tell us a bit more about the structure of the deal with the mobile homes?
sure. Yes. So basically, my primarily focus is buying mobile homes in parks. So these are called mobile home parks, mobile home communities. And basically, it's only the home. So I focus specifically just the home. And that is not attached to the land. That's called personal property. If you find a home that is attached to land, that's real property, but I'm not dealing with those transactions. So in the park, in the mobile home parks, the communities, they own the land, they own the lot where the mobile home sits, but the seller, the owner, owns the home. So the owner actually has to pay, it's called lot rent, kind of like a leasing fee to have their home sit on that lot. It's a monthly fee, kind of like a rent, because they have a landlord tenant relationship. But at the same time, they have this mobile home. They could have a mortgage on the specific mobile home or not, or they could have it paid off. So when I first got started, I basically bought these homes, then I sold them on owner financing, just like Lonnie Scruggs, the godfather of mobile home investing. Then I actually had my residents pay the mobile home park directly, the landlord lease fee, and then they paid me, my monthly, payment, the monthly payment for the home. So there's basically two parts to that. And with mobile home investing, it's actually less competition because in order to do business in these communities, Christian, you actually have to get the A-OK from the mobile home park manager, from the mobile home owner, that it's okay to do business. And that really is dependent if they like you or not, and you build rapport, you build that relationship. There's a lot of networking, a lot of follow up in the business. And I think it's a good thing. I was able to do it because I have the sales background. I've been trained formally, in the corporate world. But anyone can do it, I even had my own fears talking to the park managers, the owners when I first started out. But you just have to do it and then get over every time you do something that you're scared of and you keep doing it, then you get the confidence to do it. And here I am. So
Absolutely. And so can you break for us a great deal that you have done in the past with mobile homes?
sure, I will talk about a good deal, actually, an excellent deal. It's actually my first deal. I found it in a mobile home park. And actually, it was not a referral by a park manager. Actually, it took me a while to get into that park. It was a large park, corporate owned. And the park manager finally said, okay, Rachel, you can do business in this park. But in the beginning, they're not going to give you leads, the mobile home park managers or owners, because they want to test you. They want to see, can he or she really do these deals? They want to test you. If you can prove that, then they'll start giving you leads. And now I'm at that point where I get leads, the phone call, calls come in, right, to get those leads. But in the beginning, I had to do my own marketing. So I did a lot of stuff that Lonnie Scruggs had taught in his course, in his book, Deals on Wheels, did a lot of marketing. But basically, these owners, it's basically a family, they found me through a flyer I was just passing out in the park. And they called me and I talked to the wife and she was like, we really wanted to sell, but we want to sell to someone who's actually going to close, right, on the deal. And, you seem like a nice person. But the only thing holding me back, Christian, is she wouldn't give me a price on the home. And she said, let's talk about it. They already had a place that they wanted to move to, but we want to just kind of get to know you. A lot of times it's not about price. It's more about they want to sell it to the person they feel comfortable with because it's a sentimental thing, homes. So I met them. It took us a little bit of back and forth. We got to know each other on a personal level. So there's that. And I negotiated a great deal. I bought the home cash. It was a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, central heat and air. I think it was 19 in the mid 1980s. They even cleaned the home for me, Christian. And I bought it for 3,600 cash. In 2 weeks, I got it on the market. I sold it for $10,000. I got $1,000 down from a nice family because it was a starter home. And then I got $250 a month cash flow for the next 4.5 years. So it was a great deal, great return. So that was my first deal and the most important deal to me. So it took me 8 months, almost a year to do that deal. So it requires persistence like anything.
But it paid off. I mean,
Yes,
4 years
most
cash
definitely.
flowing. So that's amazing.
Yes. Yes. Had I stopped at month 7, I wouldn't even be here telling the story. So,
So never give up.
exactly.
What would you say to someone that is considering mobiles home investing? What suggestion would you have?
Yes, I would suggest first educate yourself on, what you want to do in terms of mobile home investing, get familiar with the niches of mobile home investing. There are a lot of books out there. Lonnie Scruggs has his book, Deals on Wheels. I have a book, and I'm sure Christian will share it with all you. It's called Adventures in Mobile Homes: How I Got Started in Mobile Home Investing and How You Can Too. Do a lot of education, do a lot of reading. I also have a podcast, Adventures in Mobile Homes, as well too, where I actually talk about and teach different areas within mobile home investing. Get as much education as you can, but then once you're at the point where you get education, you actually have to take action. So I recommend, once you're ready to take action, just figure out, do I want to buy and hold, or do you want to do something like you're building up cash? Like what I'm doing right now is I'm wholesaling. And if you're not familiar with wholesaling, or you don't know what that is, I do have a podcast episode about that, how to wholesale mobile homes. But you can actually start as a bird dog. This is what I did as a single family home investor. I found deals for other investors and then they paid me. So you can actually just start out looking for deals, get to know the park managers, get to know the owners, get to know which areas you want to work in and which areas you don't. Because at the end of the day, this is what I tell people: you got to build your business around your personality, not the other way around. I've done deals, many deals, where I did it in parks where it did not work with my personality because it was a more of a lower end clientele. So I do much better in a more higher end clientele. So I tend to work in corporate parks, but there are investors who work in these mobile home parks that are not as corporate. Maybe they're mom and pop. Maybe they're not as big. They're smaller and they do business differently and they have a different clientele. But I will say, it is the park, it is the community that will attract a certain type of clientele. So you really need to make sure that you're comfortable working with that type of clientele. I made the mistake of just looking at the numbers. We do that, Christian, as investors, right? And I bought a home. This is going to sound great to y'all, for $2,000, right? But I had a really, really hard time finding a buyer, not just any buyer, that I felt comfortable working with. And the park manager's like, just pick and choose. And then if you got to take back the home, you got to take back the home. And I'm like, I am not in the business of taking back homes, right? Even though it does come with the territory, that's not what I do. I want to find the right buyer who I think works well and they can, make the payments and all that. So I ended up taking a loss on that home. I talk more about it in my podcast. It's called My $2,000 Nightmare. And I took a loss. I sold it to an investor who bought it and he moved it to his own land. So my piece of advice: get the education, make a plan, learn your market, take action. But before you do anything, before you buy anything, make sure the areas that you pick are areas that you feel comfortable in. Hope that helps.
Mhm. And should people live in the same area, or they can invest in different areas?
Sure, sure, sure. So for me, I actually have a 2 hour radius of where I will go. And a lot of investors that I know personally who have been successful, they tend to be local. Now, it doesn't mean that you cannot, go outside of that 2 hour radius. It's just going to require a lot more drive time. It's, unless you have a team, and a lot more knowledge into your area. I mean, real estate is local. I know we're global now, but it still is a local business, no matter how you look at it. There are people, and I don't do this, but I did have a podcast episode about virtual investing in mobile homes. There are people who do that. I don't recommend it as a beginner. Maybe you've got some experience under your belt, you've done deals, you can look into it, but I don't recommend it as a beginner because you need to really know the laws in your area. I would just focus on a specific area. And it's funny because these mobile home parks, they're around because it is part of history. A lot of times these parks have been there before everything else, all this new development has been there. So, and a lot of times they are protected by the government because it's a form of affordable housing. So that's kind of my advice in that, on that question.
If you had to prepare a marketing plan or a business plan for someone who is just starting out with a low budget, what would you say? What are the activities, the day-to-day things to bring you closer to your first deal?
Yes, it's going to depend on their personality, but if they are, low on funds, you're going to have to DIY everything. And if to get over some of these fears, talking to people, I'm an extrovert by nature, but I know introverts who've made this business work. You will have to educate yourself on sales. You will have to educate yourself on networking. And I do talk about that in my podcast. But you'd have to get into the headspace. You have to get into what is the alternative? Get over your fears, face your fears, but not run away from your fears, but face them and see it as a challenge. Because if you don't do anything, you're going to be in the same spot. Do you want to get ahead in life, or do you want to stay in the same this the same status where you are now? It's just one of those things where I'm naturally a go-getter because I'm a salesperson. And actually, Christian, I do very well talking. So in the beginning, I did all this stuff. Like I did direct mail, I tried to talk with banks, but I am very good face to face in front of people. So I am out in the field all the time versus cold calling on the phone or sending direct mail. That's not what I'm good at. So if you are low on budget, I would basically learn your market and then just to get to know the parks in your area. And then from there, it's going to be, are you going to buy and hold? Are you going to build up cash and look for investors? So if you're going to buy and hold, it's basically learn your market, get to know the park managers, the owners, and then get to know the values in the mobile home parks, and then look for sellers, depending on your budget on how much you want to spend to buy and hold. Now, on the other hand, if you're going to do buy and wholesale, or you're going to wholesale and you're going to be a bird dog and look for deals for other investors, then you've got to find other real estate investors to work with. The best place to find them is in the park. So talk to the park manager, talk to the owner, who's doing deals in these parks, who's buying and holding, get to know them. They'll probably give you their phone number if they like you and say, hey, I know you've got a lot of projects going on. You've been doing this a while. You've got the experience. I'm new, but I really want to learn this. Can we negotiate something where I can find you deals? I get paid on the deals, and you buy these deals because you probably don't have a lot of time. And that's what happens with experienced investors. They just don't have a lot of time, right? So the other alternative route is to talk to mobile home dealerships, and they work with investors all the time. So they could have people that they work with on a regular basis who are looking for mobile homes all the time. So from there, if you're going to go that route, then you're going to do a lot of marketing. So it's either you're talking to these people or you're putting signs. I did everything. I've done it all, Christian. You put flyers in local businesses, and the best way to market is around the mobile home parks. If you can market inside the mobile home park, if the mobile home park owner and the mobile home manager allows you to, which I did on my first deal, but that takes time. Again, it took me almost a year to do my first deal. Then that is the best type of marketing, because those people live there, and it's just a matter of when they're going to sell. They need to know who to call. And I will say, here's my tidbit of information. Hope this is helpful. When they call, you need to answer the phone as a beginning a mobile home investor. Now, if you cannot answer the phone, let it go to voicemail, but definitely call them whether they leave a message or not, and have a good dedicated phone number for that. Because if you don't answer the phone, they're going to call someone else. So a lot of it, Christian, it really is trial and error, having that system, what is working, what is not working. I do suggest having a journal so you can document, your mobile home investing journey. I have so many journals as well too, but a lot of it is trial and error. So I hope that helps.
Absolutely. And what would you say to someone that is on the journey already by struggling to get results, to keep going, to not give up? What would be your suggestion?
Well, I would suggest, if you are in that mind state that this is not working, So we've all heard that quote, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and getting the same results. So basically, it's going back to the foundation, back to square one, to seeing, okay, this is not working. What do I need to do to change? Do I need to talk to a different park manager? And I would not have your sites open on just one park. In the beginning, Christian, I visited over 200 mobile home parks in my area. That is a lot of parks. And in the beginning, I would just suggest get the experience, okay? Look for those parks, look for those communities to work with, okay? And then your goal is to get into these parks first. I did it the other way around when I got started way back. I found the seller first. It was sound like a great deal. They only wanted 3,000 on the home. They're like, we gotta sell this. Then I went to the park manager. She's like, no, you can't do business in this park. We don't allow investors, blah, blah, blah. I kept going back to the park manager and she's like, no, I'm sorry. She was nice about it. And so I just lost out because I did the wrong thing. So if you're going to be doing business in these mobile home parks, you've got to get to know the park manager, the owner, and get the A-OK to do business in there before you move forward. So I hope that helps.
Absolutely. For people who want to learn more about mobile home investing or want to follow your journey, where can they find you?
Sure, they can find me at my site, Adventures in Mobile Homes, which is adventuresinmobilehomes.com. I got a blog there and also a podcast, but I also have a free mobile home investing course, which I'm sure, Christian, you'll share with the audience that people can sign up for to learn all about mobile home investing. And Christian will give you all the link to that. So
Thank you so much, Rachel. I'll talk to you soon.
thank you so much, Christian. Appreciate it.